Hi everyone, today we are doing a road test for a foundation. It's one that I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a long time. So I'm going to apply the foundation and then just do the rest of my makeup quickly on camera so you can see sort of how I badly do things. I'm having a bit of a bad hair, bad clothes, bad everything day today, so hopefully the skin doesn't look too bad with this foundation. I'm hoping it looks really nice, but we'll see how it goes. Now the foundation that we're talking about today is the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I will insert a picture of what it looks like here because I actually don't have the entire bottle. So I headed into Mecca Maxima a couple of days ago with the intent to buy this foundation to try it out for you. And I kind of got talked out of it by the salesperson in the nicest possible way. And she sort of let me know that it does oxidize quite a lot and that I really should try it out for a day or two before I go ahead and buy it. Now, special thanks to that salesperson because, you know, I did find that it did, as I applied it, it did oxidize quite a lot, and you'll see that in a moment. But I was given the shade 2.0. So I'm doing this in very harsh morning lighting. It's very cool lighting here. It looks pretty harsh, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. I'm going to check in with you across the day. I haven't got a lot planned today. I've basically got some chores and maybe I'll get a quick nap in if possible. I'm going to go out and grab some stuff at the store. So if you're interested in seeing my thoughts on this foundation, then stay tuned. I will check in throughout the day. So I've started off by prepping my skin this morning. I've used the Clarisonic in the shower just to try and freshen things up and get a nice smooth base. I've then gone ahead and moisturized. I use the Mario Badescu Buttermilk Moisturizer for that, and I really like this. And I am going to go ahead and prime both sides of my face. However, I'm going to use different primers for each side. On one side, I'm going to go ahead and use the Hourglass Mineral Veil. On the other side, I'm going to use this little sample of the Hourglass Ambient Light Correcting Primer. This came in my level 3 Mecca Beauty Loot box. Okay, so both sides are primed. Now the side with the veil feels a lot more, I guess it's a lot smoother feeling, whereas this side here that I've used the ambient primer feels a lot more tacky. And now for the foundation. This looks so light, so we'll have to see how much this oxidizes and see if it actually becomes a good match, or else I'm going to be walking around looking a little bit ghostly today. So I have a damp beauty blender and I'm going to use that to stipple it all over my face. Oh, it's so light. So I'm hoping to see how it goes with, I've got quite a bit of texture on my skin at the moment. I've got a little bit of breakout around my chin, which is just like, they haven't come to a head, they're just like little bumps. And also to see if it covers my dark circles, which it looks like it is doing, but again, this shade is really light for me. And it's blending in quite well. At this point, it really looks very matte, and you can see it sitting on top of the skin. It feels quite dry. I look like a ghost on camera. And blend down the neck. Looking a little flat at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and use the Born This Way concealer. And it's funny because with this shade of foundation, it actually isn't highlighting. I might go ahead and use the lighter shade of concealer that I do have. So this is the shade Light. And let's blend this in. It's looking quite heavy at the moment. I'm hoping once I spritz it all and set it all, it will look a little bit more natural. So in this morning light, you can see there's quite a bit of texture coming up. My skin does look very matte. I'm just going to look down in the monitor to see what you see. And yeah, it looks really pale. I think this might be one of those ones that as the day progresses it might look a little bit better. I felt the same way about Estee Lauder's Double Wear. I feel like it's really visible and really dry looking, and then as the day goes on it looks a lot better. So first impressions are that it's easy to blend, however it does really exacerbate the look of texture on your skin. There doesn't seem to be much difference between the two sides of primer. Coverage is quite good. I'm going to go ahead and set under my eyes with a lot of powder. As someone who wears glasses to read, I feel like this really helps to keep the makeup in place. And I like to use a damp sponge for that, just to press it right into the skin. Everything's looking very dry at the moment. And then we wait. Okay, so it's been about 8 or 9 minutes, and I'm not going to bake for too long. I really want the foundation to be the superstar of this review. So we're going to go ahead and we will dust off and set the rest of the makeup with the Ambient Lighting Palette from Hourglass. These are fantastic, very impossible to record though. I'm just going to swirl my brush around in all of the different shades, and I'm just going to go ahead and dust that off. And this is going to hopefully give a little bit more of life to the skin and make it look a little less super matte. Alright, we're not finished. Don't stress. This is not what the finished look is going to look like. When I was in Mecca the other day, I went ahead and picked up this cute little gift pack. This is part of their sort of Christmas collection. It's the Smashbox Photo Bombshell Color Collection. Alright, so for $70 you get in this pack a blush and bronzer palette. So this has a blush, a bronzer and a highlighter in there. You get a eyeshadow trio. So this is the Photo Op eyeshadow trio. You get a Be Legendary lipstick in the shade Audition. You get a Always Sharp eyeliner and the Full Exposure mascara. So that's great value. For $70 you get some minis and some full-size products to try out. You've got almost an entire look in the box. So first up, this is the palette. We've got a bronzer, we've got a blush and a highlighter in there. That highlight might look like it's a little too pink for me. I might use something different today. So starting off with the bronzer, I'm just going to bronze around the face. It's nice and subtle, it's not too pigmented at all actually. For me, as someone who's quite pale, a really dark bronzer is the worst thing ever. Get right in the hairline. I can already see that that foundation has changed. It's already becoming a lot more skin-like. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use the blush, that really nice pink blush shade in the middle. It's showing up a lot brighter on camera. I feel like I'm really overexposed today. Like, not overexposed, but overexposed. And then for highlight, I'm going to use the Hourglass Incandescent Strobe Light. I'm not sure what it's looking like on camera at the moment. Everything just feels really dry, like parched, and things are just gripping all over the place. So far, I'm not loving the foundation. So this is the eyeshadow trio from Smashbox that comes in that box. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that nude shade all over the lid and just pat it on. And this will make it easier to blend everything else in. The shadow is quite powdery, there's a lot of kick off. Using the same brush, I'm going to go in and use that mid-tone shade, and I'm going to apply that in the crease to add a little bit of dimension. And then we'll go in with a little bit of that darker shade. This is the first time I'm using a large monitor to see what I'm doing. Usually I just go straight for it and edit afterwards. But it's interesting to see how much different the makeup looks on the screen than it does on my face. So in person this looks a lot more blended and subtle than it does on the screen. So keep that in mind. And then just to tie it all in together, I might add something a little shimmery from another palette. So I'll use the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, and I'll put something in just to highlight the lid a little bit and just make it a little bit more cohesive. I might use Push Up from that palette. And that's just adding a little bit more light to the entire look. The light is fading in here, it's terrible. So also in that pack is a Smashbox Always Sharp Kohl Lighter. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of liner to the lash line. And then try my best to tight line without stabbing myself in the eye. And apply a little bit of mascara. I just went ahead and set my brows with some brow gel. And to finish off, I'm going to use the lipstick that came in the pack, which is a pretty nude called Audition. And then I'll go ahead and set it all. And I sprayed once and it still looked really dry, and so I've gone ahead and saturated my face in the all-nighter spray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you outside to have a look at what I mean by texture and the finish of this. Alright, so I've just stepped outside into my backyard so you can kind of see what the texture of my skin is like. After dousing myself in the all-nighter spray, it really has improved and made my skin look a lot more skin-like and a lot less dry looking. However, I don't know if you should have to do that for a foundation to look good. So, my eyes are so tired looking. But besides that, so this is what the foundation looks like. Here's what the texture kind of looks like on my skin. I had a breakout over here today, so I'm not sure if that's showing up. Yeah, very flattering angles today. This is what it looks like. I'll check in with you. It's about 9 AM at the moment. It's very, very overcast today, and I will check in with you later. Hey guys, here's an update. So it's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've eaten lunch, and so I switched up the lipstick and put on a Colourpop one. So the makeup is looking a lot better than when I first applied it. I really do think it's one of those ones that kind of settles in and you know, it does look better as your natural oils come through. It was pretty dry. I didn't like it at the beginning at all. Now that I look at it, it's looking a lot better. I feel like my skin's looking a lot more skin-like. But you can, if you get up really close, I'll see if I can get you in close. You still can see the makeup on my skin. So it's definitely not one of those ones that you definitely, yeah. It does sort of cling to dry places. There's really nice angles for you. But yeah, it looks okay. It looks okay. I think the highlight really added something to it. Otherwise it was really, really flat. But so far, would I purchase this? I don't think I will. I'm going to reserve the right to make a decision until absolutely late at night. I want to see how it runs as it does get a little bit more oily as well and see if it breaks up. I don't think it will, but we'll see. All right, it's 6:30 and we're about to have some dinner. The makeup's been on since 9. I've been out to grab something from the shops, and I've then been sitting at my desk editing video. And the makeup's looking okay. I think it's actually looking better than it was this morning. However, it is definitely catching on some dry spots. And where I've worn my glasses, you can see that it's worn away. It is looking better. It's looking more dewy, but it's definitely a matte makeup. Okay, I'm gonna have one last check-in tonight. It's about 10 p.m. and we've just been sitting watching Luke Cage on Netflix for a couple of hours. So I've got like, my eyes have been watering, so there's black stuff everywhere. The foundation's still on. It hasn't broken up with oils. I didn't really think it would. I thought it would get more dewy, which you can see I'm a bit shiny, but I don't know if you can see this, but I'm quite cakey around the nose. I feel like this would be a great foundation for someone who's quite oily or someone who has really a lot of issues with makeup staying on. I'm quite, like, my skin's combination, so I'm a little bit dry around the borders, so I think it's a little dry for me. What I might do is I might try using it with a really like rich moisturizer underneath and like a more hydrating primer and see what works for me. So I'll leave it up to you to think about whether this one works for you or not, or whether you think you want to try it out or not. For me, it's not personally a winner, which is a shame because I really like Urban Decay and I love the All Nighter spray, but yeah, I think this one's a little bit dry for me. However, I have to say the colour. So the colour did oxidize a lot. If you remember when I first put it on, I looked so pale. And while I'm probably just a little bit paler than I'd like to be, it's actually oxidized to be quite perfect. So that's quite interesting. It's the girl chose exactly the right shade, I suppose. But I am more than ready to take all this off and go to bed and catch up with you next time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe if you did. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye.